News Center 16's Gabby Gonzalez was in court today for the sentencing. And Gabby, did Castile express any remorse for not speaking out about the abuse that was going on inside her home?
Well, Terry, a lot of emotion inside the courtroom. Castile asking to address her grandson Tremel's brother directly. Amid tears, she apologized to him and maintained that she did not know what was going on in the basement of her home where the children were repeatedly beaten by their father. But the judge pointed to testimony from the children themselves, indicating that Castile was well aware of the circumstances and even predicted that one day Terry Sturgis would go too far. And it was her failure to act, to speak out for these children after years of abuse, that led the judge to give Castile these 3 sentences amounting to 50 years to be served consecutively, because she says the 3 children had to suffer the attacks separately. Delia Castile walks out of her sentencing hearing holding on to claims that she had no idea of the pain her 3 grandchildren were enduring at the hands of her son. The abusive father ultimately taking the life of 10-year-old Tremel. The judge calling this home a world where nightmares were real.
I can't say enough how proud I am of those kids. Not only did they endure this, but then they came in and told a bunch of strangers in a scary courtroom what had happened.
Tremel's brother taking the stand at his grandmother's sentencing, saying, quote, "My grandma let it go on and on. She chose my daddy over her grandchildren."
All of them love their grandma. It's a tough spot for them to be in, testifying in grandma's trial. They love her, and they did a great job.
That family bond bringing Castile to tears for the first time in this entire process. As she wiped those tears away, she said she had to accept blame because she had been inside that home.
We can't forget the fact that the person that committed these horrible crimes was Terry Sturgis Sr., but that it was his grandmother of these children, Ms. Castile, who was sentenced today, who placed the children in that danger. 2 of them were seriously bodily injured and 1 was killed. And that's what she was held accountable for today.
Before giving a sentencing, the judge recalled what the children said Castile yelled when she found out Tremel was dead. Quote, "Why did you do it? I knew this would happen." And it's the knowing, hearing and witnessing the abuse, but remaining silent, that made the judge sentence Castile to nearly the maximum for her crimes.
I hope that we never experience anything like this again in our community.
Castile said in court today that she does plan to appeal this case, her attorney calling the outcome a miscarriage of justice. The judge said that after 36 years of living in this area, she hasn't seen a case break the hearts of the community the way this one involving Tremel has done, and that Castile must be held accountable for her lack of action. Mo, back to you. Hey, Chuck. Well, for Bill Becker, he was really bringing the term man cave to a whole other level. For him, going to the games and being there in the stadium just was not enough. He wanted to bring that onto his own turf. Here's a look at a room that glistens with Irish pride. From the moment you drive up to Bill Becker's house, there's a clue.
I live and die it.
Take a few steps down these stairs, and it quickly becomes clear.
Win, lose, or draw, I mean, I love them. That one's 34.
Because for this man, the Fighting Irish are about more than records.
I was on the 5-yard line.
Instead,
it's in my blood.
A basement in honor of his beloved team.
Well, Grandpa played 33 to 35.
His grandfather's uniform proudly displayed, showcasing the very thing that brought his grandparents together.
He was getting homesick, wanted to go home. I don't know if it was a coach or a brother, called St. Mary's and asked if they had anybody to fix him up with. It ended up being Grandma.
Now the tradition continues.
My wife, I didn't know she was so much a fan before, but she kind of has to be, because she wouldn't put up with this.
I get things for him, take pictures for him, and get things framed for him.
She adds her own touch.
And I thought, we need a tree down here.
To a space he calls his own.
Oh, well, this one this year I put up on that Saturday we played Oklahoma. I said, if we lose, it's coming down. And we won, so it's staying up till after the game.
A room that began with a little bit of searching.
Most of it was in the basement of my grandmother's house in mothballs.
And soon blossomed into one man's treasure.
It's going to go to my son after I'm not here.
Signed photos, newspaper clippings from the 1930s, even the usher jacket that Becker donned in the 1980s. Still, Mrs. Becker won't let it blossom too much.
Because she won't let me go into the other room.
Right there. That line that goes to the TV room.
But come tomorrow, Bill hopes to have another championship photo to add to his collection.
We had a Pac-Man machine over there, and now that it's gone, I have more wall space.
Well, both Bill and his wife say that their favorite thing to do is bring someone down to the basement for the first time and just watch their jaw drop, and that's pretty much what my reaction was. They really hope that they will have plenty more to add to that collection come this week. A melted mile marker and traces of a fiery crash are all that remain along I-94.
It burned the vehicles down into the pavement of I-94, so that tells you how hot the fire got.
Just hours earlier, this was the site that emergency crews encountered.
There's very high speeds out here, and it's a very dangerous road, but that was not a survivable accident.
The two cars colliding head-on. And police say 39-year-old Michael Vanderlinden may be to blame.
Two vehicles with full of fuel just blazing away.
Police say he may have been at this rest stop, then headed down I-94 in the wrong direction. Vanderlinden and the driver of the other vehicle, Juan Nelson, were both pronounced dead at the scene.
We had trouble identifying even what kind of cars they were simply because of the damage.
When police arrived at Vanderlinden's home to tell his family the news, they were surprised by what they found.
They made several attempts to make contact with people inside, and at that point they checked with neighbors. They found out the front door was ajar. They went in, and that's when they found the mom and the two boys.
Each of them stabbed in their bedrooms. The children just ages 4 and 7.
It is a very tough scene.
No signs of a break-in, no signs of robbery. Back at mile marker 43, Sullivan walks me through the scene. And while crews patched up damage to the roadway, the pain one family suffered is only starting to be uncovered.
I'd like to say I've seen everything in the coroner's office over the years, but just when you think you have, something like this pops up. And it just goes to show you these calls aren't always what they look. Things aren't always as they appear.
Out of breath yet?
Not quite. We just sat down, but hey, check me out. I got the pink hat, the shirt. I even have the wristbands here. Our photographer, Jim Johnson, is wearing pink too. Real men wear pink, of course. And hey, they're ready to get the party started here, guys. I know we got a little party favor going. Let's get this really started right now. 1, 2, 3, go! Yeah! A real party atmosphere here. And I'm actually joined by Lori, who's going to be riding for quite a few hours today. Lori, tell me, what is it like to do this? You've done it before, but now you're really committing to this cause.
It's awesome. I'm just so excited to be able to ride for 24 hours this year because I have just completed my own cancer journey. So it's just really special to be here this year.
So amazing. I mean, you look so wonderful. You took part in this the first year, but this year it's just so great to be here for even longer, right?
Exactly. I just, like I said, I was diagnosed probably 2 years ago, right around this time, and throughout my journey, I was really committed to helping people in our community with breast cancer, and this is a perfect cause and a perfect event to do that.
And the money raised through this stays here locally. How important is that to you?
It's very important. I think I realized through my own experience that you need so much support, and actually the early detection is so vital, and there's women underserved in our community that can't afford mammograms, so this directly goes to people in our community, which is pretty exciting.
And you've got a room full of people here supporting you, supporting women that have been through the same journey, the same fight. How does that feel?
It feels awesome. I mean, you just can't go through it alone, and I've been very, very blessed with friends and family that just have surrounded me and supported me throughout my journey, and so I just think this charity can help women locally and hopefully feel the love and the support from our community.
Thanks so much, Lauren. Have a blast today. As you can see, people here ready to stick it out for 24 hours. Others just stopping by. A real party going on. They're going to get the music started. So, Kevin, I'm going to toss it back to you. They've been out since 6 a.m. this morning, making multiple stops throughout the district, all in hopes of convincing those undecided voters to cast their ballots in support for Brendan Mullen. Now, going into this race, Mullen was pegged as the underdog, going up against Jackie Walorski, someone who's run for this office before, a name that more voters might recognize.
I walked into WNDU 18 months ago by myself and launched this candidacy. And today, 250 folks across the 10 counties are knocking doors for us. Hundreds of people making telephone calls. And it's an extraordinary feeling to see what you've put together with just simple common sense and understanding that we need common sense, steady voices in the halls of Congress representing us, and folks are really responding.
And the long road ends tonight. Mullen tells me he was going to take a couple hours this evening just to reflect on this entire campaign with his wife Suzanne, and soon they'll be making their way here to the West Side Democratic Club, where he does have his victory party scheduled. We'll, of course, bring you continued coverage on News Center 16 at 6.
And Gabby, did Mullen see the changes to the district map that we talked about as an added challenge for him?
You know, he did point out that mathematically speaking, he did come into this with a slight disadvantage there, but his campaign has been targeting counties like Elkhart and really focusing on key voter groups like the Latino vote to try to balance that there for them and come out on top tonight.
All right, Gabby Gonzalez reporting live tonight from South Bend's West Side.
This white house on the corner of Butternut and Lynn is just one of the things George Menarek leaves behind. He built every part of this home on his own, and even as his years added up, he kept tending to it.
He wanted to get on the roof of the house to check the shingles at 92.
He became a source of comfort for many on his block.
My dad passed away in 1998, and I've been pretty much alone since then, and it was nice to have a neighbor like that you've known all your life.
And just this August, he was honored for his 3.5 years of service during World War II.
He was so strong, it was hard to tell him, Dad, slow down.
He had no plans to slow down Tuesday, heading back to his home to pack things up. He and his wife, Marge, had moved to an assisted living facility just last month. But while he was tending to his home once again, tragedy struck.
Norva, my stepsister, called and said, well, Mom was worried about him. And she sent me over. She says, Nona, he's in the basement and the piano's on him. I don't think he's alive.
Wednesday, friends and family stopped by the home, trying to hold on to their memories of a man who has touched so many.
To get to be fortunate to live that long and be so active. And he loved this place.
And while there are tears in light of the news, there's a little bit of comfort in knowing their dad was true to himself until the very end.
His wish was to die in this house. God seen a way to make his wish come true too.
Hey Kevin, well the band is one of my favorite parts of game day, so I thought, why not get a lesson from the pros? Check me out. They've outfitted me with one of the drums here. I'm going to learn a few things from Eric Dowdy, the drum captain here today. So Eric, tell me what are the basics here that I need to know to be able to play like you guys do?
Okay, well first things first, you know how to hold the stick.
Okay.
So in your left hand, you put the stick between your thumb and your pointer finger,
okay,
and you rest it on your ring finger.
Okay.
And then your right hand, you hold it with your thumb and pointer finger like this.
Okay, so I got that down, that part.
Okay.
And I'm not falling over yet, so okay, there we go.
And so one of the cheers that we do that gets, it's one of our offensive cheers that the crowd cheers along to. It's called Let's Go, and it goes like this. And after we do that twice, we go.
Okay, I'm gonna try to follow along with that.
Okay.
Please don't be too harsh on me. This is like a tryout. I'm really nervous.
You're doing
Okay,
great so
okay,
far.
ready? So
1, 2, ready, go.
Wait, I kind of got it. This is really exciting, guys. Guys, maybe I have a future in this. You know, I'll just come and join the band one day. That's it.
We'll take you.